So I want to take a closer look at who and what the West is, because if we're about to form a coalition of the killing to invade Ukraine, despite the warning from Russia that it will inevitably lead to World War III, we better know the mighty armies that we're dealing with. Let's start with the TikTok army of Norway. They were there in front of their weapons, in their fatigues, literally doing a TikTok dance in celebration of the fact that a major Norwegian company had refused to refuel the nuclear submarines belonging to the United States Navy. That's the United States Navy protecting them. They refused to give it fuel. Just yesterday, the Norwegian army didn't stand up in the Second World War to too much examination. Indeed, it didn't stand up to any examination at all. It was occupied by Hitler before you could say Jack Robinson. Or what about the Swedish army? Well, they declared neutrality so that Hitler wouldn't have to fight them in order to occupy them, which he very promptly did. There's the Danish army, there's the Dutch army, there's the Portuguese army, there's the Spanish army, there's the Italian army, whose tanks have 1 forward gear and 5 reverse gears. And then there's the German army. Remember them? The putative Prime Minister, Chancellor of Germany, actually put out a picture of himself and branded himself the leader of the free world. Jawohl, mein Führer, said nobody at all. Not even the 25% of the German people who voted in the elections last week can fancy being the leader of the free world, especially if that means having to re-enter Ukraine with force, because they took quite a bloody good hiding the last time that they were there. Or it could be the British army that will lead this coalition of the willing. It could be the British Army, whose 1 aircraft carrier is unable to leave the port right now, running repairs and all that, you know. Probably just as well, because it would not last the proverbial 5 minutes. Or maybe Britain's 40 serviceable tanks. 40 serviceable tanks. Russia has 9,000 tanks on the battlefield. Britain has 40 that are capable of being sent into action, though you'd need to get them from Britain to the Ukrainian battlefront without further mishap, or you'd be down to 39 or maybe 38. Or maybe it's the British Army as a whole. Well, I now discover that we have 74,000 soldiers in the British Army. That's roundabout the crowd at Old Trafford this very afternoon. Although only half of that 79,000, only half of them are frontline troops. The rest are medics and orderlies and cooks and barbers and the like. And 25% of that half are unavailable for combat at any one time for one reason or another. So it's a dad's army, really, that they're assembling there. And they're throwing money at Zelensky like it went out of fashion. As I told you, 4 billion British pounds were given to Zelensky across 2 days by Sir Keir Starmer in a country so straitened that we are staring down the barrel of another recession. Our old age pensioners are freezing. 4 million of our children are hungry. Our public realm is crumbling to dust in front of our eyes. Our cities, no-go areas for the police in many places in the country. Boys stabbing each other. Girls stabbing old age pensioners.